Hello, my name is Javier Suazo. I am 42 years old. I uh, studied in Pace University in New York City. I'm a political science major. Let's see, I've lived in this country about 38 years, and I've recently become an American citizen. And yeah, that's been a great experience and very interesting. And now I get the chance to vote. So, okay, so I first moved to the United States. This is way back in 1977. So I imagine a whole lot of you weren't around by then, around then. But yeah, 1977, I flew in to the Bay Area first to be with some family while my dad was getting our lives together in New York City, where that's where I lived and grew up. And he was the ambassador of Honduras to the United Nations. So he went first, and then we landed there. We like in the Bay Area, 1977, December of 1977, and then we stayed here for 2 months. And in February of 1978, we moved over to New York City, where I spent most of my life for the next 23 years. I attended Lincoln Grammar School there, then Cliffside Park High School in Cliffside Park, New Jersey, and then Pace University in Manhattan. Well, let's see. As a diplomat, I tried. I couldn't become an American citizen or even get my residency card for a very long time. I had to lose the status of diplomacy, being a diplomat, um, and then and then and then I could start applying. So that didn't happen until I was 20 years old. So at 20 years old, I was able to drop the status, and I handed in my application along with my mom. I remember, and went on my interview and became an American. I mean, I'm sorry, I became a resident of the United States with my mother. And so the process goes there that if you're married at the time, you can apply for your citizenship within 3 years after receiving your residency. But if you're not married, you have to wait 5 years. So I did wait the 5 years, and being I was a student in college at the time, didn't have the money to apply, so I decided to hold off. And even then, even though I've lived here and I grew up here, I decided I wanted to maybe hold out and see if I really wanted to remain here in the country, or maybe go back to Honduras. You never know. There are a lot of opportunities there. And knowing the language, well, knowing Spanish and English, I had my opportunities were wide open. And as a political science major, I could probably use that to my advantage in Honduras. But I figured, let me finish school first. So, that went along for a while, and a little procrastination on my part as well. I did not apply till I was like 35. So at 35, I finally applied, put in my application and everything. It was while I was waiting, a lot of things were happening in my life, and I decided to I decided to move here to California, and I first handed in my information and told them that I was moving, and that was fine. But then I ended up moving a whole lot when I got here, so they kind of lost me until this past March of 2015. I got a lawyer, and he started researching to see what was going on, and found my application. And between March of 2015 to now, June 23rd, I am now an American. Would you believe it? It's taken about 38 years for it to happen, and I'm very, very happy and very proud. And what a time for it to be an American, because I'm also a proud gay man, and out and married, and to the most wonderful man in the world, and who loves me and takes really good care of me. And now we are able to get married in the United States across the land. So I'm recognized. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but a whole lot more do. And I'm proud to be an American because of that. And I'm glad to be here for that. So yeah, I mean, it's just saying what are, the things that I've learned as becoming an American. It's like, as a political science major, I never really took too much stock in it. I mean, I was in college, and I wanted to study something, and I thought I'd be something like my dad, who was a politician, and even see, he said that I wasn't cut out for it, even though I was very good at it. It was just something that I found very boring, but. Um, Especially when I got married to my husband, who was very passionate about politics, I found out that I was really missing out, not knowing what it was like to vote and to really put my opinion out there and tell people, how I feel. And there's always that little bit of fear when you're just a resident of the United States, that the things that you do, and the things um, that you involve yourself in could possibly not allow you to get that entry into the country, or becoming a citizen, and the dreaded deportation, as they call it. But I've always been a very good resident. People would say that I'm a better American than they were, and a lover of history. I actually knew 96% of all the test questions. There were only four that I couldn't get, and that was just because I kept mixing them up from one side to another. And but other than that, it was the easiest test for me. Becoming a citizen was, I thought they told me I would take 2 hours, but I guess due to the fact that I live and I work here, and I grew up here. It took less than 15 minutes for the interview, and Mr. Joseph Passage was the name of my interviewer, and how very apropos, Passage. He made me feel very comfortable. I was nervous because it's a big step in my life, and here I am. I mean, you're only supposed to get 6 questions right out of 10, and I banged them out after the first 6. He says, like, well, you're done. Let's move along. I'm gonna recommend you to become an American. Um, this week has just been monumentous for me. Not only, I haven't always been proud to be here. Maybe I've always thought, because being an openly gay man, I would get a lot of lashback, and there was a little fear of being mistreated, hurt, or what have you. But I, I have to say I've been lucky all my life that I've never ever been, let's say, gay bashed, or persecuted. I mean, I think I've been very lucky in my life that I don't think I've ever been accused, or called something just because of the color of my skin. I've had the fortune of living in and around cities that are very diverse, and growing up as a diplomat brat, as they call it. Most of my friends were from all over the country, all over the world. I mean. And so I grew up with a diverse amount. Usually tell people, and this may sound bad, but I usually tell people that put me in a room full of Latinos, and I feel like a sore thumb. If I put me in a room full of people from all over the world, I blend in completely. I feel comfortable and everything. Um, so I guess the long story short, uh, being an American in time for the Fourth of July, especially, it's the week where gay marriage is accepted all across the land in the United States, and it's an incredible feeling. I can't help but maybe get a little tear in my eye. Just the day of my interview, just the fact that they gave me the application to my American passport, that made me well up a little bit, which kind of doing that right now, but I can hold it together enough to finish here. um, no, it's an incredible feeling, and it's the Fourth of July. I'm having a little party at my house this weekend just to celebrate that. It's a monumentous occasion, like I said, and I'm spending it with all my favorite people, and I'm proud of that.